birth goddesses Hollywood never fails to deliver. And one such name among the masses is definitely Drea de Matteo, the mother of the MOBWIFE aesthetic. Well, in case you have been living under a rock, Drea de Matteo is a total it girl, and has been for quite some time. Want to know more about her? Then come along as we find out what hides behind her glamorous personality, and how her life transitioned from an iconic TV actress to an Onlyfans star. Drea de Matteo, with her unmistakable Brooklyn accent and tough girl charm, has always been more than just a supporting actress. She is the embodiment of raw, unfiltered authenticity in Hollywood, and is best known for her roles in The Sopranos and Sons of Anarchy. De Matteo has carved out a niche as the go-to actress for complex, gritty characters. Whether she's playing a mobster's wife or a motorcycle club matriarch, she brings a magnetic intensity to the screen that leaves audiences glued to their seats. But what lies behind those steely eyes and fierce persona? Let's find out. Childhood and background. Drea de Matteo was born Andrea Donna de Matteo on January 19, 1972 in Queens, New York. She is of Italian descent and grew up in an Italian-American household steeped in tradition. Drea happens to be the youngest of 3 siblings and the only daughter in her family. She has 2 older brothers, Darren and Joe. Her mother, Donna, was a passionate playwright and a teacher at the HB studio in New York, while her father, Albert A. de Matteo, owned a successful furniture manufacturing business. Drea has deep Italian roots, as her dad's side is all Italian, with grandparents from Calabria and Campania, both regions packed with culture and history. On her mom's side, it's more of the same, with ancestors from Lazio and Liguria. This rich Italian heritage shines through in her roles, where she often channels her pride and love for her roots, embracing characters that reflect Italian culture and family values. Having a look at Drea's childhood, the earlier part of it was spent in a close-knit community in Queens, and the neighborhood she lived in was secure and comfortable. However, life took a dramatic turn when her father's business flourished, and it led to her family moving to Manhattan's upscale Upper East Side when she was just 7 years old. The de Matteo family moved into a brownstone on the Upper East Side that had once belonged to the legendary singer Aretha Franklin, and this move saw a significant shift in Drea's life, both socially and emotionally. In Manhattan, she was enrolled in the Loyola School, which was a private Catholic high school known for its rigorous academic standards and strict atmosphere. In an interview, Drea revealed how, despite the school's prestigious reputation, she found it challenging to come around and adapt to her new environment. The polished atmosphere of the Upper East Side was a stark contrast to the more laid-back, familial environment she had known in Queens, so the move was not an easy change for Drea, and she struggled with the transition and found it difficult to connect with her new surroundings and peers. In another interview, Drea opened up about her mom and how growing up, Drea faced some challenges, especially when it came to school and homework. Since her mom could not always be there for her as a child, she ended up struggling with anxiety. And even though her mom later acknowledged her part in that, Drea says she's still working on moving past it. She didn't think her childhood was all that unusual, but she realized now that she carried some emotional burdens from an early age, because living in an Italian neighborhood, where most moms were home cooking dinner, Drea's experience was different. Her mom was not like the others. And that left its mark on her career start. Before Drea de Matteo came to be known as this iconic mob wife famous for her role in The Sopranos, she was gradually building her acting career. Back in 1996, she made her first appearance on the big screen in a project called M-Word. That same year, she made her television debut with a brief role in the crime drama series Swift Justice, in just an episode, but it was a start for her. By 1999, Drea was starting to find her groove and landed a role in an indie romantic comedy called Meet Prince Charming. The film is set in the hustle and bustle of New York City and tells the story of a couple trying to navigate their relationship. Drea played a supporting character named Hilary by bringing her unique energy to the role. Most of these roles were quite small, but they were important stepping stones in her career. Each one of them helped her hone her skills and pave the way for bigger opportunities. And of course, it all led to her unforgettable portrayal of Adriana in The Sopranos. The big breakthrough. He's Sopranos. Drea de Matteo's breakout moment came in 1999 when she landed the role of Adriana La Serva in The Sopranos. Up until that point, she had only appeared in a few small guest roles on various TV shows, nothing particularly notable. So when she found herself cast in David Chase's groundbreaking and experimental pilot about the modern-day mob, she probably did not realize just how much her life was about to change. Originally, Drea auditioned for a different part, and went in for the role of what she described as an Italian bimbo, but apparently David Chase did not think she looked Italian enough for the part. Anyway, he didn't think she had the right look for what they were going for, so instead, he decided to put her in a smaller role, or a tiny one in fact, as the hostess at an Italian restaurant. This was the kind of place where the mobsters and their families would often hang out, so her character would pop up occasionally. As the hostess, Drea had just a couple of lines, and she delivered them without the now iconic gritty Jersey, New York accent that her character Adriana became known for. It was a simple part and nothing too flashy, but Drea surely stuck with David Chase, because soon after she got the call that she had impressed the producers enough that they had expanded her role as Adriana La Serva, the long-suffering girlfriend of Christopher Moltisanti, played by Michael Imperioli. The role of Adriana was originally meant to be short-lived, just a few episodes at best. But Drea brought something special to the character. There was a kind of magic in her performance that made Adriana more than just a gangster's girlfriend, and she gave her depth, humor, and a certain charm that made Adriana memorable in ways no one expected. The writers couldn't ignore that, so Adriana ended up becoming a major part of the series, lasting much longer than originally intended. But what really made Drea's portrayal so unforgettable was the tragic arc of her character, Adriana's story. The character was always in this impossible situation where she was caught between her loyalty to her partner and the reality of the dangerous world they were living in. The tension just kept building as she tried to navigate these conflicting loyalties, and you could see her fear and desperation growing with each episode. When Adriana's story finally reached its heartbreaking conclusion, it was one of the most emotional and gut-wrenching moments in the entire series. Viewers were left shaken by her fate, which really drove home the brutal reality of the mafia world. In an interview, Drea once said that her character Adriana hit closer to home than she ever expected, and her own mother loved Adriana because she understood that a life like hers really existed. Drea also shared in a New York Times interview that she grew up in a world similar to Adriana's, where the women cooked, cleaned, and sometimes got a black eye now and then. Drea's character Adriana's tragic end was inevitable, and when it finally happened in 2004, it left a lasting impact on the show and its fans. The rumors had already started circulating that Adriana's time was coming to an end, especially since Drea had just signed on for a new NBC sitcom. But even with the speculation, nothing could prepare viewers for the heartbreak of her final moments. Where at one point The Sopranos was known for its bone-crunching violence, Adriana's death was different. It wasn't just another brutal moment in the series, it was one of the most emotionally devastating. Watching her life spiral out of control and then get cut short was hard for the fans to stomach, and imagining The Sopranos without her seemed almost impossible. Ultimately, Drea's success on The Sopranos opened many doors for her in Hollywood. It was a turning point in her career, and she quickly became known as a powerhouse actress who was capable of delivering intense and nuanced performances. While she went on to do other things, it was her portrayal of Adriana La Serva that remains her defining role. That's the character that people remember her for, and for good reason. She brought to the role more than anyone could have expected when she was first cast as a hostess with just 2 lines. Her performance received widespread critical acclaim. She earned several nominations for Screen Actors Guild Awards and Golden Globes, and she even won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress. On top of that, she took home a Gracie Allen Award and a Screen Actors Guild Award. Drea de Matteo became a household name, and her time on The Sopranos marked the peak of her public success. The show ran until 2006, and during that time Drea, being the iconic woman she is, found herself landing on Maxim's Hot 100 Women list in both 2001 and 2002. She had become a bit of a pop culture icon, especially with that cult following that adored her tough girl persona. Even years later, Drea de Matteo's performance as Adriana La Serva stands out as one of the most memorable in television history, as she managed to take a role that wasn't supposed to be much more than a fleeting character and turned it into something unforgettable. The mother of mob wife aesthetic. With her iconic character, Adriana made waves in the early 2000s, not just for her acting but for her iconic outfits on the show, and her character is, in fact, the inspiration behind the viral mob wife aesthetic that has been sweeping TikTok recently. As the cast and fans celebrated The Sopranos' 25th anniversary in 2024, the series saw a resurgence, and with it a renewed focus on the show's fashion. Viewers could not stop talking about Adriana's bold, edgy style, and it wasn't long before the mob wife aesthetic became a full-blown trend. On TikTok, hashtags like #MobWifeTrend and #MobWifeAesthetic have racked up millions of views, with over 30,000 videos showcasing Gen Zers channeling their inner Adriana. The trend involves everything from faux furs and loud animal prints to oversized gold hoops, which is the Adriana La Cerva special. One viral audio clip declares that the mean girl is out. Mob wife is in as young people across TikTok strut their stuff in head-to-toe mob wife looks. But the catch here is that Drea isn't even on TikTok, but she is most definitely aware of the trend. She revealed that her phone had been blowing up with DMs, texts, and calls as the mob wife aesthetic took off, and for her it was both flattering and hilarious. She told in an interview how she's used to people dressing up as Adriana for Halloween, but this new wave of fashionistas taking inspiration from her character was something else entirely. Also, when asked about the rise of the Italian fashion movement, Drea told Variety in January 2024 that she loved how these girls embraced the look and were nothing less than bossy bitches who did not come across as vulnerable or meek. Instead, they seemed like they were channeling their inner gangster, and she was totally here for it. Career expansion. While Drea gained widespread recognition for her role as Adriana La Cerva, her talents did not stop there, and as her fame grew, she ventured into the world of film, making some impressive strides. Between 1999 and 2000, Drea appeared in several indie films, including The Gentleman from Boston. But it was in 2001 that she made a significant mark with her portrayal of a Puerto Rican drug lord in Abel Ferrara's RX Mas. Directed by the celebrated indie filmmaker, the film premiered at Cannes and showcased Drea's ability to take on darker and more complex roles with a raw and gritty edge. Drea also caught attention with a brief yet memorable appearance as a New York club girl in Jon Favreau's directorial debut, made where her small role was one of the film's standout moments, making it known that even with limited screen time she could steal the show. In 2001, she continued to display her versatility with a role in Swordfish, where she played the alcoholic ex-wife of a convicted computer hacker. Even though the part was significantly small, it demonstrated Drea's knack for bringing depth to every character she played, no matter the size of the role. In 2002, Drea took on the role of a gang leader's girlfriend in Deuces Wild, a 1950s mob drama that featured an impressive ensemble cast including Debbie Harry, Norman Reedus, and Fairuza Balk. The film allowed Drea to stay within the world of crime dramas, a genre she excelled in, but with a different twist from her Sopranos days. Drea's talent for playing tough, flawed characters shone through once again in 2003's Pray for Rock role. In the film, she portrayed Tracy, a tough, self-destructive bassist battling drug and alcohol addiction while playing in Gina Gershon's fictional band, the Clam Dandies. Her performance was raw and authentic, earning her strong reviews and cementing her reputation as an actress who could tackle challenging roles with intensity and heart. While The Sopranos was still in its heyday, Drea's character Adriana became increasingly pivotal to the mob drama's storyline. But even as her role on the show was coming to an end in 2004, new opportunities were on the horizon. That same year, she landed a leading role on Joey, the much-anticipated spin-off of Friends. Drea played Gina Tribbiani, the sassy, single-mother sister of Matt LeBlanc's Joey Tribbiani. Gina was a quintessential New Yorker with a sharp wit, a tough exterior, and a caring heart, who was a dynamic character and brought a new energy to the sitcom. The role of Gina was a major shift from the darker, more intense characters Drea had been known for, and it allowed her to flex her comedic muscles and showcase her lighter side, proving that she was just as capable of handling humor as she was drama. The producers of Joey were looking for someone who could complement Matt LeBlanc's comedic style while bringing a fresh element to the show, and Drea's versatility made her the perfect fit. Although Joey did not reach the same heights as Friends and was ultimately canceled after 2 seasons, Drea's performance in it was praised. Her ability to transition from the dramatic role of Adriana to the comedic role of Gina on Joey highlighted her range as an actress and further solidified her standing in Hollywood. After Joey, Drea continued to make waves in television and took on a recurring role in the motorcycle drama Sons of Anarchy, where she played Wendy Case, who was a complex character and struggled with addiction and motherhood. She also joined the cast of Desperate Housewives in its later seasons and brought her signature intensity to the role of Angie Bolan, a woman with a dark past. During this time, Drea also appeared in several films, including the romantic drama Once More with Feeling in 2009 and the indie drama Sex, Death and Bowling in 2015. Her next major television role came in Shades of Blue, a police drama starring Jennifer Lopez. Drea played Detective Tess Nazario, who was a strong, no-nonsense cop navigating the challenges of life on the force. Since then, Drea has continued to land both one-off and recurring roles in popular television series such as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Mindy Project, The Making of the Mob New York, and A Million Little Things. Her film credits have also expanded with notable appearances in Lake City, Free Ride, New York, I Love You, and Dark Places. Her fleeting presence on the main screen. Although Drea de Matteo has been stepping back from the mainstream Hollywood scene lately, she has not completely left the industry. She is candid about feeling like an outcast in Hollywood, and her outspoken political views are partly to blame. Drea has been pretty vocal about her support for Donald Trump, and she has mentioned feeling targeted because she doesn't back Joe Biden as president. Another factor contributing to her current situation involves the COVID-19 vaccine. When the pandemic hit, Hollywood, like many other industries, introduced vaccine mandates to keep everyone safe on set. These rules required cast and crew to be vaccinated to continue working, which became a hot-button issue for many, including Drea. Drea decided not to get vaccinated, which was a choice she made based on her personal beliefs and concerns about the vaccine's safety and effectiveness. In a 2023 interview, she shared that her refusal to comply with the vaccine mandates led to her being blacklisted in Hollywood, and also expressed her frustration over how this decision impacted her career and how the once plentiful work opportunities become scarce after this decision of hers. Drea also noted that many of the traditional roles and projects she might have been considered for were no longer available to her. This lack of work had significant repercussions for Drea, and in her interviews she talked about the financial strain this situation put on her, making it difficult to support her family. The vaccine mandates, according to her, effectively shut her out of many acting gigs as productions were unwilling to hire unvaccinated individuals. Personal life. Drea de Matteo is known for having an enticing screen presence, and the same can be said for her personal life as well, because it is no less than a rom-com filled with a blend of high-profile relationships, motherhood, and a strong connection to her Italian-American roots. Love life. As mentioned, Drea de Matteo's love life has been as colorful and dynamic as her career, and is marked by several high-profile relationships that often intersect with her work in the entertainment industry. One of the most notable relationships in Drea's life was with Shooter Jennings, the son of country music legends Waylon Jennings and Jessie Coulter. They started dating in 2001, and their romance quickly became a fixture in both the music and Hollywood scenes. They were often spotted together at various events, ranging from star-studded parties to live concerts, making them one of the more talked-about couples of the time. In 2007, Drea and Shooter welcomed their first baby girl named Alabama Gypsy Rose. Their family grew again in 2011 with the birth of their son, Waylon Albert Blackjack Jennings, who was partly named after Shooter's famous father. It was clear that their children were at the center of their lives, and the couple appeared to be deeply committed to their family and each other. Shooter's proposal to Drea in 2009 was straight out of a romance movie, as he popped the question during a concert in Utica, New York, making it a very public and heartfelt show of his love. Despite the engagement, Drea and Shooter never tied the knot, and by 2012 they decided to part ways, focusing on co-parenting their children. Even after their breakup, they managed to maintain a positive and supportive relationship by prioritizing their kids over everything. Following her split from Shooter Jennings, Drea found romance again with Michael Devin, the bassist for the rock band Whitesnake. The couple met through mutual friends in the music industry, and their shared passion for music built a strong connection between them. They even supported each other in full swing, with Drea often seen at Whitesnake's concerts and Michael cheering her on at her events. Drea again experienced the magical moment when Michael took a romantic cue from his band's high-energy style when he proposed to Drea in 2015 on stage during a Whitesnake concert in Atlantic City, New Jersey. But despite this grand gesture, Drea and Michael never ended up getting married and eventually parted ways around 2019, but the details of their breakup were kept pretty private. Before her well-publicized relationships with Shooter Jennings and Michael Devin, Drea de Matteo also had a few other romantic entanglements, though those were less documented and mostly flew under the radar. And now, since her split with Michael Devin, Drea has opted to keep her romantic life more private and has shifted her focus to her career and her children, striving to maintain a stable and loving environment for them. Although there have been occasional rumors and speculations about her dating life and marriage to Robbie Stabler, Drea has largely chosen to stay out of the spotlight when it comes to her personal relationships. Motherhood. Drea de Matteo's journey as a mother, according to her, has been one of the most fulfilling parts of her life, and gives an insight into how she is both personally and professionally. She first stepped into motherhood in 2007 when she welcomed her daughter, Alabama Gypsy Rose, with her then partner Shooter Jennings, and again 4 years later, in 2011, when they had their second child, a son named Waylon Albert Blackjack Jennings. In an interview, Drea mentioned how motherhood has deeply impacted her and gave her a fresh perspective on life and work. She has also often talked about how becoming a mom made her more grounded and laser-focused on what really matters. Juggling a career in Hollywood while raising 2 kids is not easy, and Drea has been open about the ups and downs of balancing these 2 demanding roles and says that she is dedicated to creating a stable and loving environment for Alabama and Waylon, even with the pressures of her career and the scrutiny that comes with being in the public eye. Despite her busy schedule, Drea is known for being a hands-on mom and makes it a point to spend quality time with her children, and often shares snapshots of their lives together on social media, be it a family outing or just cozy moments at home. She loves showing off the special times she shares with Alabama and Waylon. Motherhood has also influenced Drea's career choices, and she has mentioned that being a mom has made her more selective about the roles she takes on. Now she looks for projects that offer more flexibility and allow her to be present for her family, and it is clear that her children are a huge priority for her, and she strives to find that perfect balance between her professional life and her role as a mother. Onlyfans star. After not being able to find work in the industry due to her bold choices, Drea de Matteo found herself in a sinking ship, with Onlyfans as the only life jacket available. Her journey from financial hardship to entrepreneurial success through Onlyfans is a controversial yet remarkable story of resilience and adaptation. She first began to feel the financial strain during the pandemic, when Hollywood and much of the world came to a standstill. And even after the productions resumed, she found herself out of work because she chose not to get vaccinated. With vaccine mandates becoming the norm in Hollywood, her decision made her ineligible for acting roles that had started to return, and as a single mother of 2 and a caregiver for her parent with dementia. Drea found herself facing the very real threat of foreclosure, with her house flooded and her bank account down to just $10. When on the brink of losing her home, Drea found herself contemplating new ways to make ends meet. One of her teenage daughter's friends suggested she explore Onlyfans, a platform known for its adult content. Although it came as a joke at first, Drea thought about it and was hesitant at first, but in August 2023, driven by necessity, she decided to take the plunge. Drea leaned into her iconic Adriana La Cerva persona from The Sopranos, offering fans playful glimpses of herself in outfits that reminded the audience of her character's mob wife aesthetic, including lingerie reminiscent of Adriana's signature look. To her surprise, this bold move turned things around and pulled her from financial despair to stability. For a while, Drea had been quiet about the vaccine issue, even though it had been the root cause of her financial struggles, and it was not until she launched her Onlyfans account in August that she opened up about the situation. People were curious why she had turned to Onlyfans and why had she taken this controversial step, which caused a dip in her reputation. That's when she revealed that being unvaccinated had effectively shut her out of Hollywood and cut off her main source of income, and what started as an almost unserious attempt to make ends meet turned into a new source of financial security for her. Drea also shared that she was just 3 days away from foreclosure when Onlyfans saved her from financial ruin. In fact, some months she makes more on Onlyfans than she did per episode on The Sopranos. While she did not disclose the exact figures, she did mention that she recently earned $50,000 in tips alone. Considering that her average pay per episode of The Sopranos was around $500, it is clear that her Onlyfans venture has been significantly more lucrative. One of her recent promotions, which offered exclusive intimate content with high-profile collaborators, brought in almost $35,000 in tips. Drea was pleasantly surprised by the success of her Onlyfans page, which she started on a whim. As she discovered that there was a huge demand for her photos and people saw her as the embodiment of the mob wife aesthetic, Drea was able to pay off her mortgage and settle other debts by leaning into this image. Not only did Onlyfans help her save her home, but it also provided the funding for her clothing line, Ultra Free. While her success on Onlyfans has been financially liberating, it has also made her a controversial figure, and last September Drea opened up to Fox News about her decision to join the platform. She narrated how, despite facing backlash, she pursued it with the support of her kids, who even helped her edit photos for the platform. Drea has been clear that her decision to join Onlyfans was driven by the need to take care of her family, and she is unapologetic about it, stating that she is an actor who works to feed her family and not to stay in the business for business's sake. For her, the move to Onlyfans was not just about surviving, but more about doing whatever it took to support those who depended on her. Conclusion. May. Life currently. In 2022, Drea de Matteo took on some new acting roles, starring in the thriller Safe Room and appearing in One Way alongside Kevin Bacon. But recently, by 2023 and 2024, she started to step back from mainstream acting. While she still pops up in smaller TV roles like Paradise City and guest spots on shows like Mayans MC, her focus has shifted more towards entrepreneurial projects. Drea has also recently partnered with Knocking Point Wine and promoted a Sauvignon Blanc inspired by her podcast Gangster Goddess. She has also been exploring writing and directing and has even ventured into the fashion world. But in 2023, she married musician Robbie Stabler, who was the drummer for the band All Them Witches. The couple made headlines after tying the knot, and Robbie eventually left the band in April 2024 to focus on new ventures, including running Drea's clothing line, Ultra Free. Their brand, which promotes free speech, features bold, edgy designs with slogans like defund Satanism and graphics like skulls, bats, and rifles. On a more personal note, Drea experienced a significant loss in May 2024 when her mother, Drea de Matteo, passed away. This has been a deeply emotional time for her, but she continues to stay active in the entertainment world while maintaining her privacy and focusing on being both an actress and a mother.